Okay, it's 7 past, so I'm going to begin. And my name is Sam Swartz. I'm the Technical Support Manager for TeshCon USA. And I represent mostly handheld line, the SpectroDens, SpectroPlate, SpectroJet, and SpectroDrive. Today's topic is loading, creating color libraries on the SpectroDens. And you can load existing libraries. You can create new libraries. Again, feel free to stop and ask questions, or if I'm going too fast or you don't see my screen refresh, please let me know. The first thing you're going to need besides the SpectroDens to load your color libraries is the SpectroConnect software. And you can get it at two different sites, the teshcon.com site, which is the German factory, or teshconusa.com. If you go to the German site, you'll choose English, Service, Software Downloads, and download the software. If you go to the U.S. site, TeshCon USA, you'll go to Customer Support, Download. So that actually just ports you right through to the German site. The current version is 2.2.2. We update the software a couple times a year. Usually it's bug fixes and minor enhancements. So it's always good to check the site if you have a few minutes and you're about to do a project. Any questions on getting the software? The software is, by the way, free. Anyone can download it any time. Today we're going to look at color libraries, and there are 4 options. One is to load color libraries from the set of color libraries that comes packaged with the software. And that's feel easy to do. We'll show you that. The second option is to create your own color library by reading in patches, ink drawdowns, customer samples, color books that you already have, and put them into the system. The third method is to create a color library by just entering LAB values. So if your ink supplier or customer gives you LAB values, then you simply enter those in. You've created a color library. And the fourth option, which is new, is we can import a color library in a standard CXF3 format. So if everyone's got that, we'll go ahead to the application. And feel free to let me know if you're not seeing the screen or you're missing something. Okay. Here is SpectroConnect software. I got to move some panels over so I can see my screen. And you should all now see my cursor circling the display of a SpectroDens. It says sample and LAB values. Do you people see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So the first thing we want to do is to go ahead and open a color library, load a color library into the DENS. Let me explain over here on the right. These panels represent your computer, and you can store as many color libraries on your computer as you want. Over here on the left represents your SpectroDens, and we can store 10 libraries of 100 colors apiece on the DENS. Pretty good memory, not unlimited memory like the computer. So the first thing we're going to do is going to go to File. Hello, someone else has joined us. And we're going, hello.
I'm sorry, Penny Tracy here.
Oh, hi, Penny. We really just started the presentation. Do you have us on your screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll continue. If we need to circle back a little bit as people come in, we'll do that. I'm just opening a color library of an existing color library, one that was shipped with the SpectroConnect software. So I'm just going to navigate to the software, and I've got shortcuts set up. With Spectra Connect, you get the FOGRA, Media Wedge libraries, HKS, ISO libraries, media standard prints. They're basically a set of international color libraries, and you can load those and use them. Since this is a North American audience, I'm going to choose the Ideal Alliance color library. We'll open that up, and you should be able to see on the right side of my screen that I have Grackle, Swap, C3, and Swap C5. These are just a small color library so you can easily see what we're doing. So this is on my computer. In order to load it into my system, I'm going to drag it down to the left. Now it's going onto my DENS. I'll hit the Start button. I'm going to update my DENS. Now I actually move over to the DENS. I go down to the color book, which is on the right, hit the Return button, and you can see that my swap color library is in the DENS. Now to use it, because I can have a lot of color libraries in the DENS, up to 10, I'll just put that one in reference memory. And you can see over here on the left that the colors came up, including a paper and a black. Now, typically, the reason why I load a color library is so I can reference it. So I'm going to go to my Reference tab, top left tab, hit my Return button. A pop-up menu comes up, and I'm going to go down to Search Automatically, select Search Automatically, and now I'm going to go over to the Delta mode, and the symbol for Delta is a triangle, so I'm choosing a triangle. Delta mode is on. And now if I take some samples, we can see that we're comparing the sample I read to the black that's in the color library. You know, the delta E is 1.05. And as I read my samples, I compare to the samples in the library. Now, does that make sense to everybody? Now's your chance to speak up. Okay. So this is just opening a standard library, one that comes with the software. The next thing I want to do is to create a library by reading color patches. So I'm going to come over here, top left under File, select New Color Library. Now, one little quirk is I have to select a new color book over here. Now, I can name the color books anything I want. In this case, I'm going to name it Color Patches. We'll select it. And just so we can see this easily, I'm going to delete these colors so you can see the colors come in. I'm going to go back to my DENS. On my DENS, I use the up and down arrow keys to go to reference in the top left. Hit the Return key, and now I want to save automatically. So I'm going to select Automatic. And my screen hasn't updated, but my DENS has.
Hey, Steve.
If you had a question, can you say that again? So now I'm going to read in my references, and you can see the references pop up on the left. And we'll take 4 quick readings. So now we've read in our references. And I can go ahead and I can name these anything I like. So we'll just give them simple names. My typing isn't too good, but and neither is my spelling. That's why you went to graphic arts. So now we've read in samples, again from a color book, customer sample, ink drawdown, previous job. Wherever you can read them, we'll bring them over here. And now we're getting ready to save them on our computer. I'll just select it up top. And I always use the Save As function, Save Color Library As, so I make sure I don't overwrite anything. I'll come up here, and I'm just going to save these on my desktop. I actually already have a file with that same name, which I have for backup, but there we've saved this color library to a local computer. We again are going to bring it over here to the bottom left so we can load it on a DENS. We're transferring it to a DENS now. Here's the update. Going to come down to a color book. And now we have two color libraries on a DENS, one called Color Patches, which is the one we want. We're going to load this into reference memory, change the DENS to sample, and now when I read my samples, we can see that we're comparing the sample I'm reading to the reference color I put in. There's delta E of 0.81 between my sample and my reference patch. Any questions on what I've just done? Or why we're doing it? Okay. The next feature I want to show you is creating a color library from LAB values. So again, I'm going to say New Library. I'm going to say New Color Book. On this color book, I'm going to call it LAB Colors. And we come down here to the bottom box. I'll do a right click and I'll say New Measurements. You can name this anything you want. I'll name it LAB Black. And I'll just type in some common black values that I have. I was working with a customer the other day, and he had gotten the values from his ink company. I'm cheating a little bit. I have the values in a piece of paper beside me so I don't get too far off. Now you can put in a lot of values, just a few values. If you do have a lot of values, there is another function that allows you to put them a little bit more efficiently, but I think this works well for the demonstration. And here it is. So we now have 4 colors. Every time I make a color library, I want to go ahead and save that on my local computer. That way I'm always sure that whatever work I've put into it, I've got saved. So we've saved it in the local computer. We're going to bring it down to the DENS side, hit the Start button, and again, we're loading this up into the DENS. I go back to my DENS. I use the arrow key, bring up the color books, and now we've got 3 color books in the DENS. We're going to go down, select Lab, put that in reference memory, and now when we go ahead and read a color, we're comparing the lab values that I entered to the values on my press sheet. So this is a third way of getting a color library into the DENS. Does anyone have any questions or comments at this point?
For the delta E value, when you calculate, is it like a delta E 2000, or which equation was using?
It's delta E, I think, 1976. Let me take a look and see whether I can. You can. See, oh, it's right now. It's just C-Lab, and I think that might be an older version, but it's common. If you want to use Delta E 2000, you just select it.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of our customers are using the CMC, which is an oval space, and it is perceptually more uniform in most areas. The Delta E C-Lab is just a mathematical formula. It's a theorem in 3 dimensions. A little bit cruder, but that's what we typically use for a lot of the in-house work. Sorry about that. So the last color library I want to show you about is loading a standard color library like a CXF3. So in this case, we have an import function. So I'll go ahead and I'll select the input function under File. And again, for the sake of the demonstration, I have a simple color library in CXF3 on my desktop. I'll go ahead and open that up. It shows up on the right-hand side because it's still on the computer. We'll bring it down to the bottom left, load it into the DENS. So now we have 4 color libraries, including the standard format. And now when we go ahead and we read, it would be as though we're reading from any standard library. I just made up some names here, but if you had an old library in your archives that was saved in CXF3, you can import it. If you have a Pantone license, you can import Pantone here. Just need to have a license, which you can buy from Pantone. You can buy from Amazon for about $50. So that's the basic loading color libraries. Again, any questions, comments? Good time to bring them up. It's sort of a quiet group. Is there anything else I could talk to you about on color libraries? No, it's quiet. Jessica, were you able to see everything that I did? Is Jessica still there?
Sorry, I had it on mute. Yes, actually, I thought that was really good. It's pretty straightforward. I like it a lot. Works well.
Okay, good. How about you, Alex?
Yeah. Actually, I had a question. Is there a way to compare a patch to a specific patch in the library, not just have it choose automatically which one is the closest?
You can set up references in the DENS and just compare it against the reference, or if you just take a reference, let's see, we're going to turn off search automatically. We'll take a reference reading, reference 5. We'll go to sample, and if we compare, we're comparing against reference 5. So our reference stuck in this instance.
Okay.
So that would be the simple way of doing that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? We will be doing every couple of weeks another one of these little mini webinars, just covering 1 or 2 topics so we don't overwhelm people. If you have questions and you want to ask questions offline, my name again is Sam Swartz. You've got my email address on your screen now. You can also, if you don't catch this, either call us or send in a email through the website to the info email request, and we'll get back to you right away on that. And if there's no other questions, we'll just close it out and let you go back to your work.